Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. If it's your first time here, then hi, my name is Roisin and I'm really glad you clicked in this video. I put a poll out on Instagram asking you guys what you would most like to see, and the video that won that poll was actually my beauty haul. So that is what I am filming and posting for you today. It is the 1st of June today, but some of these things are things I've been waiting to film since I bought them when I went to London in between Christmas and New Year at the end of last year. So this is very overdue. Yeah, I'm still very excited about what's there. I'm now excited to film it and then get to actually start using it, because I have been trying to not make things too mucky or whatever ahead of filming them. So I'm quite glad that this one won the poll and I can get it filmed and get in about these things. So yeah, let's get on into seeing what I have accumulated beauty wise approximately over the last 6 months. One of the shops I was really excited to go to in London was the Sculpted by Aimee shop. So they have a standalone store on Carnaby Street. They had a set that was still available in the Sculpted shop, which had actually sold out even on the Sculpted's own website, and they had an exclusive new product. So that is what I purchased in the store. I did actually buy quite a few of the Sculpted by Aimee Christmas sets in the Boots sale, but I'm not going to show you guys things that were limited edition that you can't still get. But although this first set was part of the Christmas lineup, so it was a Christmas set, all of the products in this are basically available all year round. So if you like anything in this, I will be able to link all of the individual products down below. But what you will not be able to get is this set in this box, which is a shame because this was a bargain. I think this was £45. Such a good price for everything that's in it. So let me get into showing you what that is. Like, look at all of this. The idea about this box is basically that it is your whole face in a box, starting off with skincare. So you've got the Moisture Masters, the Soothing, Moisturising and Conditioning Sheet Mask. The next thing, this was the thing that really was selling me this entire box. So this is the Bare Basics Noodle 1 palette. However, exclusive to the box was this mini size. So this palette is still available, but only in the full size. It's the exact same palette, but just shrunk down. I am very excited to get to use this. I think it's super cute. I love the fact it's like basically your whole face all in one palette, but mini, easy to travel with. So into that. Then for applying your face, you got 2 brushes in this. So again, these are both available. So this is the Perfecting Duo brush. So this brush says that it is the perfect tool to effortlessly and flawlessly apply creams and powders. So it's essentially a blush brush and a sort of more dense looking face brush on the other end that you could probably use for kind of like bronzer, contour or foundation, depending on what you want to do with it. I really like the Sculpted by Aimee brushes that I've had so far. The only thing that I would slightly moan about is that they are all dual ended more or less, with the exception of my powder brush from them. But it means the dual ended ones have to be stored flat. You can't put them in a pot, which is how I store most of my makeup brushes. But the actual brushes themselves, beautiful brushes. The other brush that you get is the dual ended eyeshadow blending brush. So together this basically gives you everything that you need for applying all the products in the little mini palette. And then for the finishing touches, you've got the My Mascara. So they've got 2 mascaras. They've got Lash Lifter and My Mascara. I have not tried either of these mascaras before. I am a smudger, so I'm not expecting to actually get on with this mascara because it's not a tubing mascara, but I have seen incredible lashes as a result of this mascara, so I am excited to use it, and then we'll see how I get on with it and then see if I maybe need to just put a tubing mascara over the top of it to seal it or not. Last but not least, Hydra Lip. This is in the shade Rose, which admittedly probably isn't the shade I would have picked in this product. They've got a shade called Bronze that I think is probably the one I would have gone for, but obviously with these Christmas sets they always put in quite neutral colours. This is like a super hydrating formula, so it's kind of half lip balm, half colour, so I feel like I will definitely actually use this up because it's got that sort of part treatment option and it will be a really easy to wear colour, so I am looking forward to using this as well. The new product that was exclusive to the store hadn't yet, I don't think this has ever come to Boots yet, is from their body line, because I think Boots has mainly got their sort of facial stuff. This is the Hydra Body Nourishing Oil. So if you're watching my main project pan for 2025, which I will link up in the eye if you've not seen any of it so far, I have got the Sculpted by Aimee Hydra Body lotion in that. Now the smell of that is beautiful and I really like the lotion itself, but the packaging is just not the one. I find it so difficult to squeeze out. It's really firm. It actually kind of hurts my hand with how like much effort I have to put into squeezing it. So I definitely will not be repurchasing that, but I really like the actual product. So I thought this might be obviously easier because you're not having to squeeze it. It's just not an open top, obviously not super wide, but you're just going to kind of shake it out. Thought this might be an easier way of getting that same beautiful scent, and I'm sure it'll be a really effective product in terms of delivering moisture, etc. I am super excited to start using this. I finally got into quite a good routine with body products last year. I've been trying to be really consistent and I have finally just about gotten there, so I'm feeling really good about that. The last two things from Sculpted by Aimee were just two little samples that I got of Rose Golden Beauty Base. I also got quite a few samples of the moisturiser, but I actually gave mine to Lauren because I have the full size of the moisturiser. I know that it works really well for me, so it was giving her a chance to try it properly. That is one of the things I would say if you can go to a standalone Sculpted by Aimee shop. So there's one on Grafton Street in Dublin, there's one in Belfast, and the one in Carnaby Street in London. I've not been to the Belfast one, but in the Grafton Street store and in the Carnaby Street store, they are so generous with samples. So I've always come away with loads of extra things. So I got these two primers to try as well. But anyway, as I just said, I have been in a really good routine with body care. I'm really happy about that. So I got a few bits and pieces in Space NK that kind of tie in with that resolution. The first of which is something I have been absolutely loving, and this is from Naturium. You can get this brand in Boots, but this particular product I think is still at the moment exclusive to Space NK. It was certainly exclusive when it launched and I don't think I've ever seen it in Boots yet. This is the Glow Getter Multi-Oil Body Butter, and this is so beautiful. So it's exactly as the name suggests, it's a body butter but it's got oils through it. It's super nourishing. The smell is lovely. It's definitely got a scent to it, but not in a sort of overpowering way. You can put it on and then put your perfume on and this isn't competing with it. It smells really fresh and clean, but what I've been really enjoying about this is that it leaves a really beautiful sheen on your limbs. Not a wet look, not anything extreme or anything like that, but it just gives like a luminosity and a bit of a glisten. Obviously we're now coming out of winter, but when I have been using this on my legs when I've been going out in the winter months, it's just been really nice to have something to add that little bit of something to them. Really been enjoying this. Something else that I picked up, so again this was obviously one of the Christmas sets, was from This Works. So you get 3 products in this. Obviously I only have 2 here to show you. One of them is the Perfect Body Vitamin C Glow. So this is a body moisturiser infused with vitamin C. I have been using my Beautify Vitamin C moisturiser at the moment, so I'm trying to finish that up before I go on to this. Then you've also got a little mini of the Perfect Legs Skin Miracle. This was a really iconic product for such a long time. It's wash off, it's instant, so it's not like a fake tan that's going to stay, and I don't think it's quite as much sort of coverage and pigmentation as you would get with a proper fake tan, but it does just kind of even out the skin and add again a little bit of a glow. It definitely adds colour because I am very pale when I've not got any kind of fake tan or anything on, and I couldn't just use this on my legs and not also on my upper body or whatever. Like there would be a definite contrast between the colour of my legs and the rest of me if I just put this on my legs ahead of going out. So if I use this, I am using it like all over. There is definitely enough colour that if you're super pale you're going to need to adjust for it as such, but I am very pale, so that's probably not most people's issue. But I think if you are slightly darker skin tone than me, you can get away with putting this on your legs or whatever to again just kind of give it that little bit of something, but you probably don't need to put it all over if you're not, you know, Victorian child, sickly, pale by nature. And then the last thing that was in here was a body wash. Now I've actually finished that up, so it's going to be in my empties, but I have another one of it here because there was a deal on, even though the sale was on and the things that I bought from This Works were all on sale. There was a deal on that if you spent I think £40 or something, you got this for free, which is a full size of the body wash that was in that set. So this is the Perfect Body Smoothing Body Wash. It's a resurfacing wash that has fruit acids and PHAs in it. So I had finished up, I think it was a 100ml that was in the set, and this one is 200ml. So this is the full size. So I got this for free for £0 and 0 pence because it was a gift with purchase. But anyway, I really enjoyed the one that I used up that was in the set, so I am looking forward to using up this full size. Also got 2 of these. One of them I have started using one of the products in, so it's been opened, but 2 of these then took me over what I needed to spend to get the free gift. And this was like one of those little tree decorations, the Perfect Cleavage and Neck Serum, which is really just a moisturiser, and then another little mini of the Perfect Legs Skin Miracles. So I've now essentially, I've got 3, I've got the 1 from the set and then I've got the 2 from this. So yeah, that will get me through any unexpected invitations that pop up and need something instant. We went to Sephora whilst I was in London, so we don't yet have a Sephora in Scotland. There's chat about it. I've heard Edinburgh and Glasgow. I don't know how much truth there is in either, if it's going to be both or if it's going to be one or the other. We shall see what happens, but for us right now, Sephora isn't yet in Scotland, so it's very exciting to get to go to it when we are down south. They have recently opened one in Liverpool. My friend and I are going to Liverpool later this year. We've got a little spa break booked, which I am so excited about. I'm also now very excited to go to the Sephora, particularly because it has Merit Beauty in it. Merit is one of those few brands now that we don't really have a lot of access to and don't get to see in person very easily. So, or ever, I don't think I've ever seen anything from them in person. So I am very excited to get to see Merit Beauty things in person. But from Sephora in London, first of all, and if the Christmas sets weren't emphasising how old this haul is, this shoot, I got the Wicked palette. So obviously Wicked has, I think it's now on home release, so it's fully finished its cinema run and whatever. I feel like I didn't really hear a lot of people talking about this palette or anything, but I will fully hold my hands up and say, like, I'm a musical theatre kid at heart. Sadly, a musical theatre kid who doesn't sing or dance well enough to go into musical theatre, but I do love musical theatre. Very attracted because of the theming first and foremost, and that is really what tipped me over with this palette. These green shades just also, I mean, green is, I'm wearing green today, obviously I've got red hair. Green is like my favourite colour anyway, but it's also, if I'm going to wear colour, it's likely to be something greenish. Like I've got a slight green through my eyes today. Probably never going to touch the likes of this kind of shade here, but the greens just absolutely called me. That shade, that bewitching shade, I think is going to be incredible. Probably what I'll get most use out of is these 3 here, you know, these sort of neutral ones, but I am very excited to play with this palette now that I have shown it to you. For anyone who's new, I have been on a lot of no buys and really have changed my consumer habits over the last number of years, which is a little bit ironic to say in a video that is basically just a haul of me showing you a whole load of things that I bought. But I definitely buy a lot less than I used to. And one of the things I would always do in the past is if I bought things like this, I would want to keep them pristine. I'd be like, oh no, it's a collector's item and whatever. You know, I wouldn't buy it to use it, but I am going to actually use this. I'm going to film swatches for this video, and once I've swatched it, that's it, it's used. First use is done, so I can just get on with using the rest of it. But yeah, on the note of collaborations and things, has anybody tried Glamlight products? I have never tried anything from the brand before. They're mainly US based. Again, it's a brand that we can't see here in the UK in person, but they have a Lord of the Rings collaboration right now. And I have a birthday coming up next month, and I am so tempted to get some of the bits for my birthday. I 100% know and fully admit that I have been pulled in by the theming. That is what I'm absolutely drawn to, is that it's Lord of the Rings. If you've tried the Glamlight stuff before, let me know. Did you like it? Is it worth, you know, paying the import fees and the customs fees that I'm going to get bringing it into the UK? The actual products on sale seem really quite reasonably priced. You know, I think the palette's £33. They've got a bundle for I think £100, and then another bundle for £114 to get it all in a sort of collector's box, which all in all doesn't seem too bad in the scheme of how expensive certain things can get in the beauty world. But I know I'm going to get customs and import and whatever on top of that, so it could end up being quite spendy. So is it going to be worth it? Have you tried the stuff before? Let me know. Also in Sephora, I stocked up on an old favourite. So this is the Elmer's Papaya Enzyme Peel. This is an exfoliating mask. It just really, it brightens the skin up, but it also helps. I'm quite oily and get quite congested, so this really helps to move that through. Absolutely love this mask. I've tried equivalent masks and this is the one that I always come back to. I have been through countless tubes of this over the years. It just nothing else comes close to it. It doesn't irritate my skin, but it is so effective. I absolutely love this product. And then a new product, and a completely new to me brand, is the brand Truly. What I've got here now, this is called the Anti-Cellulite, which I don't think anything's going to kind of get rid of cellulite in that sense, certainly not anything topical, that kind of nonsense. However, this is the resurfacing body serum, and it does have retinol in it. So retinol is something I have been wanting to bring into my body routine. I've not tried it yet, so I'm going to start using this on my legs now that I have filmed it. It's a very pleasing bright orange colour, which obviously will be completely fake and full of colourants. I'm not expecting it to do anything about my cellulite, but I am interested to see what bringing retinol into my body care does, so I am excited to start using this. I also went to Harrods. Harrods is usually somewhere I buy quite a lot of things, but I didn't really get very much this time from Harrods. But one of the things that I got was again another backup or restock as such from Drybar. These are the Hold Me hair clips. So I have had a few of these. I've had them for a number of years. I think I got them in 2015, and some of them have finally broken. So, and I really couldn't complain about them because, as I say, they are 10 years old basically. So I decided to just treat myself to some new hair clips. And I know this is going to sound like really strange because they're just hair clips, but these are the best hair clips. Oh God, you can tell these are new. They're so like resistant to opening. I must have really worn down the springs in my old ones. These are just really comfortable in the hair. They never seem to snag my hair, they never pull my hair, and they've also got this kind of movement to the top. Now I bought a set of these in Ricky's in NYC. I think Ricky's is no more if I remember correctly, so RIP. That basically looked exactly the same, had this same kind of movement bit and whatever on top. And I don't know what the witchcraft is, but the Ricky's ones would still kind of catch my hair. If I forgot they were in my head and kind of lay down or whatever, they would really dig in. They were sore. Looked exactly the same for all intents and purposes, but these ones, like, they never snag my hair, they never hurt, and I can actually sleep with these in. You know, they never seem to like dig in. I don't know if it's, as I say, I don't know if it's to do with the movement, but the Ricky's ones had the movement and they still would dig in. But if I like curl my hair and then just really loosely pin it up using these in like big sections, I can sleep with these in. And I never have any problems or any discomfort. So really random, but really good hair clips. Other really random thing that I get very enthusiastic about from Drybar is their shower cap. Bizarre, and I know weirdly specific. Toweling in the inside, the elastic's really good, it keeps your hair completely dry. It's really big. If I tie my hair up and then put it on, I've still got plenty of room, and it's just the best shower cap I've ever used. Again, I have tried ones that look the same, but they're not the same. Drybar just knows what it's doing when it comes to tools. I can't explain it, but it's witchcraft. The other thing that I got in Harrods, so this was on the sale. I don't know if this will still be around or not. So from Charlotte Tilbury, this is a makeup bag. It was £34, it was down to £27.25 in the post-Christmas sale. Charlotte Tilbury does carry this makeup bag year round in other colours, but the green itself I think was the Harrods exclusive. Obviously, as I've said, I love green, it's my favourite colour, so this absolutely called me anyway. But my friend Lauren, who I was away with, she had hers with her, and it just looks, it's so good for travelling. Like, it's basically so all folds out, and you've got these different sections, so you can have like, you know, your base, your contour products, your eye products, your lip products, all separate for when you're packing your bag, and then it all just folds away nicely together. It just, yeah, it looked really smart when she had it out in the hotel room. So I'd already kind of been eyeing hers up and been like, I think I would really like one of those. And then when we went to Harrods, it was available in green and it was on sale, so I decided to go ahead and get this, and I am very excited to start using this. On to what I picked up in Liberty. First of all, I've got another sort of tool product as such, and it is the slip hair ties. So I've had a number of these over the years. I think the last two Christmases I've got the Christmas sets, but this set is just, this wasn't a Christmas set or anything, but obviously this colour is designed for auburn hair, so I decided to treat myself. People say that if you're using like the silk grip that it's not going to kink your hair. If I tie my hair up for the gym or whatever using, well, obviously I've not opened these, but using, you know, the equivalent ones that I own already, I do still get kinks in my hair. They don't snag my hair, they don't pull my hair out or anything like that, so I do really like them. And obviously, as I say, this is I think my third time buying them. And then something new to me that I picked up was the Kate Somerville Mega C 30% Vitamin C Brightening Facial. I'm a little bit nervous about using this because that's a very high percentage of vitamin C. So this is a brightening mask. We'll see how the results are, but I think I'm going to need to proceed with caution. This is what it looks like. It's this very pleasing bright yellow. I did try it on the back of my hand in Liberty. I didn't seem to have any irritation or anything, but obviously your facial skin's a completely different ball game. So I will try this out and report back. And the last round of stuff that I've got to show you from my London trip is all from this Korean beauty store. So I think again this was in Westfield. Now first of all I got these. Basically these are like a two-step process. So you get two different patches. Use the first ones for 10 to 15 minutes. Then you remove it off, gently remove any kind of lifted like sebum or blackheads using this little tool, which I also got. So this is called the Ilso Deep Clean Master, and it is like this little tool here, and it's not like a blade, like it's not sharp, but it's just a very, very fine sort of metal tip that you like basically lift up the side of your nose, and it helps lift off anything that the first nose patch has kind of pulled out and is now sitting on the surface. After you've done that, you go on with patch number 2. You leave this one on for 15 to 20 minutes. If you're somebody who's congested and oily, these are like miracle workers. It is insane. Now it's absolutely a short-term thing. Your nose will be completely clear, like all the sebum, all the pores, it will be like magic. They will have vanished. The difference is amazing. They do come back. So it's not a permanent thing. You need to be doing it really regularly to keep on top of it if you wanted it to be a permanent thing. But if you're just feeling extra congested, or if you have you know, an event coming up or whatever, so impressed with these, to the point that I actually went back before the end of the holiday and bought another box because I really was impressed with the results of these. So those are the Ilso Clear Nose Patches. I also, whilst I was there, bought the Ilso Super Melting Sebum Softener. This I will put on my nose ahead of using the patches, so maybe like the night before or the morning of if I'm not using them for a couple of hours. So I'm not using this then going straight in with the patches or anything, but this is almost something that I'm kind of using to soften the sebum to allow the patches to be extra effective. How much of a difference this is making I don't 100% know. I think the patches are doing most of the job, but I did pick that up since I was in the shop, it was in front of me, it kind of all was sort of going together as a little package, so decided to give it a try. But I would say it's definitely the patches and the little tool that are your most effective things. In terms of my beauty inventories, I've also got 2 little sachet samples here that I got in the shop when I bought my bits and pieces. Anyway, that is everything that I picked up in London, so I'm just going to show you a couple more things because I think this video will be probably quite long enough as it is. I did an unboxing of a Kate Spade bag that I bought at the Caledonia Park down in Gretna a few weeks ago. So I actually went on a trip with Quite Magazine at the start of May. They'd organised it, but you bought the tickets. I don't mean I was invited with them or anything. I did buy a ticket for it. They took us on the coach down, and as part of that ticket we got a goodie bag from Caledonia Park. So I wanted to show you the beauty bits that I bought as well as the contents of the goodie bag. First of all, I went to the CCO. I think I'd said to you guys recently my It's a 10 detangler and heat protectant spray had been in my Q1 empties video, but I was trying to just get on with using some of my beauty balms and things like that, but I have really found that I've missed that product in my routine in terms of mostly the detangling element to get a comb through my hair when it's first out the shower. In the CCO I picked up this. So this is a range that I used to absolutely love. So this is the Bumble & Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil. So this is their heat protectant primer, which essentially is exactly what I'm using in place of the It's a 10 when I come out the shower, spraying this on, combing through my hair, and it's working as a heat protector and a detangler. In terms of the RRP of this, apparently it was £21 and I paid £15.75 for this at the CCO outlet at Gretna. Also at the outlet, one of the things I went with hoping to get in mind was this little kit. So MAC have recently discontinued, or not so recently, I think it's been a while now, my brow pencil, which was the shade Penny. That's what I've got in my eyes today. So if you are somebody with auburny hair, Penny was a great colour. I don't know why they've decided to discontinue it in the pencil. They still do it in the brow gel, so I don't really know what the logic in that was. So I got one of these before when I'd been, I think it was when we went to Cheshire Oaks, and I knew the CCO had it there, so I'd been hoping that I would have got this little kit that's got the Penny brow pencil and a clear brow gel in it. This was £17.50, which I think is what the cost of the pencil on its own always was anyway, so not really a particular saving in practice for me because I don't use the clear brow gel, I use the Penny brow gel as well. But I got another Penny brow pencil, so I've got the one I'm using at the moment. I've still got a little bit left, but this should hopefully then get me through to the end of the year, so was very pleased to get that in stock there. And then the last thing that I bought there was this little kit, which ended up being an absolute bargain. So this is an Estee Lauder set. It says travel exclusive, so I presume it had been airport exclusive and it has come to the CCO because they maybe had too much of it or whatever. So this has the 50ml of Advanced Night Repair and also an eye cream in it, and it was down to £66.75 with an RRP of £89. I think basically the Advanced Night Repair, the 50ml, is 80 something on its own. So this was to get these two products for £66.75 was such a bargain. Advanced Night Repair I've talked about loads, I'm sure loads of you know about it. This is just, my skin loves this, and it's a really annoying product in that I can't quite say exactly what it is that it does, but when I'm not using it, my skin just does not look as good, and I can tell my skin's very sensitive, very reactive, and this is a product that I've just used for years and years and years. It really agrees with me. It never causes any reactions. It's like ultra reliable. I absolutely love it. So I had actually just finished mine ahead of us going down, so I was needing to repurchase this anyway. So this was an absolute bargain. I also then got this eye cream, which I've not used before. So I've used the Advanced Night Repair eye cream in the pot before, which I really liked, and I'd actually been thinking I might have repurchased that at some point. The eye cream that came in this little set is the Advanced Night Repair Eye Concentrate Matrix. So this one comes as like a little metal dipper that's got like a little ball in the end to really like massage in around your eyes. Very, very pleasant to use. I've only been using it for a couple of weeks, so I can't really comment on if it's doing anything for my eyes or not as such, but I have really, really enjoyed it. And again, it's not irritating my eyes at all, so I'm very up for anything that doesn't irritate my eyes, because my skin in general is sensitive, but my eyes are particularly reactive. So far so good, really enjoying this. Then in terms of what was in the goodie bag, because this needs to be added into my beauty inventory, so those of you who are invested in those videos will be seeing this reflected in my figures. A little mini of a Molten Brown conditioner. I haven't used any of these things yet, so I can't comment on any of them. And then we got a night cream from Rituals. Now, I've had Rituals body things before, and I use the Rituals washing up detergent, but I've never actually tried any of their facial skincare. So we got this little night cream, which I'm very excited to try. Also from Rituals, we got a little sachet sample of their hydrating serum. So again, excited to give this a go. And then last but not least, probably the best thing in the goodie bag was a full-size MAC lipstick. As you can see, it says Cardiff in the front, so this must have been like a limited edition for the opening of the Cardiff store or whatever. Basically, it must have wound up at the CCO, I presume, and then they have given it as part of our goodie bags. And it's properly on the packaging, like they've really committed to Cardiff. But anyway, it's the Velvet Teddy shade, which obviously is a super iconic shade, so I'm kind of surprised that it didn't sell out, but here we go. So that is what it looks like in the bullet. I'll obviously insert a swatch of it. I have never used this lipstick. Excited to see what the hype is about. And I'm also really pleased because this is a little bit older. It's the same packaging that all my other MAC lipsticks are in, so it sits nicely alongside them, because the new MAC lipstick packaging is a little bit different. So I'm actually quite pleased that it's like an older one that will sit nicely with the rest of them. But anyway, last things to show you, and I think we'll wrap this video up. So as I said, at the Great Outlet I got the Bumble and Bumble primer, and my hair has been, so I got a little bit of blonde put through it, if you guys can see that. It doesn't seem to be agreeing with my hair, so I've talked about this before. I think my hair has just been a little bit more sort of brittle and dry, and I feel like the split ends are happening like a lot more quickly than they were happening when I didn't have the blonde in it. Because I feel like I've had to have my hair cut every time I've been at the hairdressers this year, and I usually get my hair cut every second or third time, but it's been needing it every time, which I'm not particularly into. So I think I'm going to ditch the blonde and go back to just, it would be as multi-dimensional, which is really sad because I do like the dimension that it's giving to it, but condition over colour, I think, is the priority. But anyway, so because obviously my hair has been feeling just that little bit drier and needing that little bit more moisture, just after I'd been to Gretna, Boots had £10 off a few of their iconic products. The Bumble and Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil range, those products were included within that offer. So I actually picked up 3 products from the range. So I got the shampoo, I got the conditioner, and I got the hair mask. So I've been really enjoying all 3. So all 3 of these had £10 off each of them, and then I think I had like bonus points when you spend £60 or something, so I think that's why I picked up all 3 products rather than just the shampoo and conditioner. So I have been using these. I do think they are helping with the condition of my hair, but I do think ultimately I'm probably going to ditch the blonde. We'll see. I do really like it, so I might give this a little bit more time, but I'm leaning towards ditching it. But just to share a bit of a horror story for anybody who's like my age, is in your 30s or whatever, Bumble and Bumble was the hair brand back in the day. Does anyone else remember this? Like Bumble and Bumble, the Sunday shampoo was the most iconic thing. Everybody had it. And Boots in the city centre in Glasgow used to carry Bumble and Bumble. It doesn't anymore, basically. And I wasn't sure at first if it wasn't carrying it or if it had just been moved about. So I asked a member of staff. She had never heard of Bumble and Bumble. And not only had she not heard of it, the next 2 other members of staff that she asked had also never heard of it. One of them actually thought I was talking about like Sol de Janeiro, like the Bum Bum cream. And it was like these were on the £10 off offering. This range was literally pictured on the promotional like stuff that was in the shop, but they had never heard of it, because I got to a point I actually just pointed at the thing in the picture and was like, it's that range that I'm looking for. And eventually one of them got a hold of the manager, who obviously was a little bit older, and she knew what I was talking about. And Glasgow City Centre doesn't stock it anymore, so I had to go to one of the out of town Bootses. But oh, I felt old. I really did. Like these 3 young members of staff had never heard of Bumble and Bumble, and I was like, back in the day, Bumble and Bumble was the hair brand, you know? Not quite recovered from that at this point, that I'm a bit like, oh wow, people literally never heard of Bumble and Bumble when it was the be all and end all for a while. It just shows you the life cycle of brands and how things change. But oh, did I feel old? Yes, I did. I think that is probably quite enough to show you in one video. I'm sure this has been very, very long. I've been filming for basically an hour, so we'll see how much I get whittled down out of that. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions about any of the products, leave them down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!